The person beloved by all, known as James Baxter, used to be just another horse in the big city until he became disillusioned with the bleak and dreary day-to-day grind and took off. He began his separation from the city horse lifestyle by sending his savings down the river and apparently deciding to go nude since all the other horses shown wear clothes. He finds a beach ball which he has a predilection for and a very sad bat. To cheer up the crying bat, he balances atop the ball and reads out Games Bookstore incorrectly, and from that moment on he becomes immortalized as James Baxter forever. As he travels across the land making people smile and laugh, he forgets about his bat friend, who flies off, supposedly never to be seen by him again. James continues to do his horse and ball routine, day after day, until he hits an exploding elderly mole man and goes into shock. I found Horse and Ball to be a cautionary tale about creative expression, about the dangers of grounding yourself entirely in the expectations of other people when relentlessly pursuing your art. James was fond of the beach ball in the first place, but he created the horse and ball routine on the spot for the purpose of cheering somebody up. Making others happy made him happy, so he rolled with it. Pun intended. But it seems like over time, that happiness turned into a burden. When James had his routine come to a sudden stop, and his autopilot was basically deactivated, he started to suffer from trauma. He was unprepared and incapable of engaging in anything when he could no longer do what he always relied on. He was lost and emotionally detached and suffering from drastic depression. That's not a reaction somebody who is mentally well would have. James Baxter never engaged anybody on a personal level and never built relationships. He did not maintain a friendship with the bat as he continued his routine for others, which forced the bat to make the difficult decision of leaving James to pursue their own life goals. If one works relentlessly and non-stop to please others, one may end up having no personal time, no actual friends, and a complete lack of self-care. James Baxter is a representation of what can happen when the drive to create for the enjoyment of others gets taken to an extreme. Despite being the center of everyone's attention, you may actually be isolated and alone. James was likely depressed for a long time, possibly without even realizing it. There's a common concept that those who look the most joyful and bring the most happiness to others are the ones with the most pain and sadness within them. Those who appear to have everyone's adoration feel the most alone. This was the feeling I got from James Baxter. Raggedy Princess provides an interesting contrast to James. Unlike him, she has no audience or fans. Her kingdom is an empty trash heap that rarely seems to have visitors. Raggedy Princess goes as far as to sabotage others just so they can be around for her to share her poems with them. But Raggedy Princess loves making her poems, even if no one sticks around to hear them and discuss them with her. Even as Jake compliments her kingdom and holds it in the highest regard,
Truly, this is a fine kingdom.
Jake still does not engage with Raggedy Princess's art. She toils away at what she loves without being able to share it with others, whereas James Baxter toils away at sharing his art with others, despite no longer finding pleasure in it. Yeah, this episode is really depressing. It does have an uplifting conclusion though, as Finn's honest and true feelings toward James Baxter make the horse realize he has to also live for himself, and not just for others. Creating for others can be fine, but one needs to be able to exercise and satisfy their own creative desires as well. So for the episode's ending scene, James Baxter goes out and dances, for nobody except himself. Horse and Ball continues Season's 8 streak of having really strong episodes, and yet, for some personal preference reasons which I can't quite put my finger on, the episode didn't resonate with me as much as I feel like it should have. I really appreciated the themes in the episode and how they were explored. I'd be down to eagerly discuss the episode at a moment's notice. I enjoyed the dialogue and interactions, especially Shelby's.
Stab him
What?
with a giant syringe
What?
of respect.
Oh.
Despite all this, something still failed to ignite that spark within me that makes me giddy after I finish an awesome episode. What Finn said to Prismo in the episode I Am a Sword about friends kind of applies to my feelings.
Sometimes you can think someone is totally cool, but you never become besties. And I don't know why that happens.
That is really close to the general feeling I have toward this episode. Despite my personal lukewarm experience, I'd still call Horse and Ball a really good episode. I never expected James Baxter to make a return, but I'm glad that when he did, there was heavy emotional stuff about artistic expression tagging along with him. And of course, the fluid animation created by the legendary human James Baxter is always a treat to watch.